Welcome back to CHC Today on Kingdom TV, and we are joined by my dear friend of many years, Dr. Linda Miles. She is a psychotherapist and a media expert, and she's been doing a little research on reality TV. And I can't be a hypocrite. I have to let you all know, I have to make a confession. Every now and then, Pastor,
come on now, Sarah,
I've gotten a little addicted to a few reality shows. I've been known to watch Bachelor a few times and stuff. I know, but I know I'm not alone. There's a few people out there as well, and so I think she's about to change our whole view on reality TV. Tell us what you've been doing.
Well, I have to admit, I've been watching them, Sarah, because recently I've been staying with my elderly mother, and I've never watched these shows. So she is hooked on Big Brother.
Okay.
On this show, Big Brother.
How old is your mom?
My mother's 84.
And she's hooked on Big Brother?
She's hooked on Big Brother. She
loves Big Brother. Crowds.
To see who throws their friends under the bus.
Yeah.
And it's the opposite. You know, to me, it's ironic because it's the opposite of brotherly love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They call it Big Brother. What are we doing, Sarah? What are we doing? What kind of message are we giving people that this is brotherly? When the whole point is, if you think someone can beat you, you get them kicked off the show.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, come on, it's just entertainment. I mean, all they're doing is just killing some time with something that's I mean, that's the argument that I hear all the time. You know, I can see you raising your eyebrows. So, you know, I mean, come on, what's wrong? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there that are watching this broadcast that when they get through with us, they may go watch Big Brother, you know, or another one of the reality shows.
Oh, absolutely. You're not just killing time, you're killing brain cells.
Wow.
Excuse me?
You're killing brain cells, literally. When we spend too much time in the lower portion of our brain, our limbic brain, I call it our snake brain because it's what we have in common with snakes.
Really?
Fight, freeze, or flee. That's all a snake can do.
And that all generates from the limbic or
the
rear close to the spinal
connection?
Yes,
exactly. If you could imagine your brain's like this, it's down here.
Okay.
This is the part that's spiritual. This is the part that's snaky. When you spend too much time in your snake brain, whether you're watching other people in it, doesn't matter if you're watching other people or you're experiencing that fear, that anxiety, all those negative emotions, it generates negative chemicals in your brain.
Really? Just from watching a television show?
Absolutely. It's vicarious. Do you know that children many times are more damaged by watching abuse, watching a brother or a sister abused than they are if they're abused?
Wow.
So vicarious learning is extremely important. So we're letting people sit there for an hour and they are watching something that may kill brain cells. Now, I'm kind of going out on a limb on this, but there's some early research that may help lead to Alzheimer's. That if you spend too much time in that lower part of your brain and not enough time contemplating God, in prayer, in spirituality, in healing, it may actually lead towards Alzheimer's.
So in other words, it's almost like a seesaw where you have the frontal lobe of the brain, which brings pleasing and peace and joy and comfort, and the limbic, which is in the rear. And so when you're sitting there watching those reality shows, it tilts that seesaw all the way to the back.
The seesaw goes bam.
All the way to the back.
You can imagine, you know how when you're a little kid and you go bam, like this, and the seesaw goes bam. On the other hand, and I've heard some of your sermons, and they're fantastic.
Thank you.
And I can feel positive chemicals get generated inside of me. And that's because my brain is going to the frontal lobe, and it's literally rewiring itself. One sermon, one really rousing sermon, and we know this from research from the University of Pennsylvania, can help rewire your brain.
One message.
One message. One reality show. If it really gets you emotional and really gets you locked in your limbic brain, can make you more aggressive, more competitive, and less caring about other people.
Well, let me ask you something, Dr. Miles. Now, I know that you're a psychologist and not a sociologist,
yes.
But would you possibly be able to say that there's any correlation? Because one of the things that we've been dealing with in society as a whole right now with the political scene, we've seen these town hall meetings which have begun to promote an aggression that we've never really seen in the American population before. Could it be that these folks that are sitting, and because most Americans watch a lot of television, and the reality TV with people throwing things at one another, insulting one another, is it possible that we're seeing a correlation between people watching these things on TV, spending more time in their limbic, becoming more aggressive, more outgoing, and then now we're seeing that effect over in our society?
Again, I'm not a sociologist, and they study the society as a whole, but I can tell you in an individual brain, garbage in, garbage out.
Right.
Yeah.
If you watch garbage, if you watch Jerry Springer, or you watch The Bachelor, or you watch Big Brother, or they've got this other one called There Goes the Neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah. I just
Which
heard
is
about that one.
neighbors fighting neighbors,
Right.
whole families fighting each other, that people that were friends, that supported each other, and they're pushing each other out just to win, just to get the flipping money.
Now, that is amazing. Now, you were telling me just a minute ago that the study from the University of Pennsylvania, they actually have been able to, through electronic means, be able to judge the stimuli going on in the brain while people are watching these things or experiencing them. And that in some cases with prayer, religious, anything that is positive, they see the frontal lobe light up. And then when it gets to these reality type shows where there's aggression, snake brain, it's lighting up. And that when you're watching that, it kills off brain cells and can rewire your neural synapses that will cause you then to begin to act like that.
To begin to act like that, to become more aggressive, to become more selfish, to become more self-centered. And again, there's also research that, you know what, that doesn't make people happy. There's research also from the University of Pennsylvania, a whole different group, the Center for Positive Psychology, that's found what really makes us happy is what God said would make us happy. It's altruism. It's a purpose greater than ourselves. Those are the happy campers out there, not the ones who are throwing things at each other and throwing their friends under the bus.
One of the things that you said before we started the segment, too, was that watching this, not only can it change your behavior, but it normalizes this behavior for us.
Yes, and it makes it where, oh, so these people act like this, so it's okay for me to act like that. And again, at a very fundamental neurological level, Sarah, you're becoming more aggressive because you're exercising that part of your brain that evolved to be aggressive.
I guess the one thing I would like to ask, gosh, and I wish we had about 4 hours, is your study, a lot of your practice and study on the professional side has been in relationships, be it marital relationships, family relationships, things like that. How does this then apply to watching these and then having a dysfunctional marriage, dysfunctional family affecting your children?
We're giving a model of a dysfunctional family. These are dysfunctional people.
I would say Big Brother's very dysfunctional.
The most dysfunctional people win. And we have an example of a man who just killed his wife.
Right.
Okay? He won a reality show. So, you know, this is the kind of people who can win. They don't care.
Right.
They don't care how they hurt other people. They don't care who they step on. And yes, we're giving that example.
I think what you told me a few minutes ago was that, and this blew me away, that to win one of these reality shows, if you're psychologically unbalanced, you actually have...
You've got the edge.
You've got an edge. You actually have a better chance of winning.
You need to be dysfunctional. If you're not dysfunctional, a functional, loving person getting back to relationships isn't going to throw their neighbor under the bus for $200,000. Because they know in their heart and in their soul that they have to live with that.
Wow.
And so the dysfunctional people are like, well, so what? We'll throw the Joneses under the bus. Who cares, you know? And they're the ones that win.
Well, this has been an eye-opener, I think,
Yes, it
letting
has.
you know that people just think it's for fun and entertainment, that scientifically we're seeing that it really can have an impact on us. So we thank you for that information. And we also want to let you know that Dr. Miles is an author of 2 books, The New Marriage and Friendship on Fire, and you can go to her website, which is drlindamiles.com. to purchase the book and learn more information about all of the wonderful research and advice that Dr. Miles has. So thank you so much for joining us again.
And we look forward to having you back again
Yes,
soon.
absolutely.
Thank you. God
Thank
bless.
you.
Well, up next, a special announcement regarding Expression 2009. But first, let's refresh your memory about this event and exactly how vendors can get involved.